Hey there, thanks so much for stopping by. It's been a really long time since we had a huge merchandise release of Duffy and Friends, and I'm not talking about the newest addition to the group, Olumel, which is the turtle, who's essentially the Disney mascot of the Aulani Resort, and very much like Cookie Ann, was rebranded and incorporated into the Friends lineup at Tokyo DisneySea. And with his joining the group, a whole bunch of merchandise was released of him to celebrate, but that's not what this video is going to be about. It's actually going to be focused on merchandise based on a seasonal event, and much of that has been scaled back, even cancelled this year because of the pandemic, of course, and that meant the cancellation of several seasonal events, including the release of seasonal Duffy and Friends merchandise lines. And it's really strange to not have Duffy and Friends merchandise lineup. They are so popular. Tokyo Disney has no problems releasing merchandise, coming up with ideas to the point where they can just simply release whatever theme they want, completely unrelated to whatever seasonal event is happening at the time. So it's with great excitement that we finally have one after several months of nothing. And this is not related to any particular seasonal event. It's a very general type of event or merchandise theme, and it's under the title of Say Cheese, which you can guess is all related to photography or like group photo sessions. So you'll have the friends posing basically in photos in a lot of different ways, and it's a really adorable concept because what you get to see is just them hanging out, having fun, enjoying the parks, enjoying their time together. And isn't that something that we all cherish at Tokyo Disney Resort or any Disney park? One of the ways that we can cherish memories spent at a Disney park is through photos, and this is one of the ways that they've captured it in the Duffy and Friends merchandise Say Cheese line. So what makes this particular merchandise lineup is the fact that this is the first merchandise release that includes the newest addition to the family, Olumel. So this is the first time for all 6 friends to be featured and released as part of merchandise. It's a pretty big deal, and we're going to see a lot of the merch featuring all 6 characters individually or as a group. And I'm really curious to see what kind of themes and flavors that they're going to be associating Olumel with. So without further ado, as we usually do here on my channel in regards to merchandise reviews or lineup releases, first I'll be showing you what's available in the entire lineup, where you'll be able to see pictures of all the items as well as their retail price, and then I'll be picking a handful of them to highlight a couple of points that you otherwise might not be aware about. The only language on the packaging is Japanese, so I'm here to provide you with some further additional information or insight to the items themselves. And with that, here's the lineup. As we go through the merchandise, I will also be sharing ones that I have personally purchased myself, so I will be able to give you a close-up of those items and you'll be able to get a better sense of what they look like. And what they are is, think of it like patches, like fabric patches that you can stick on clothing if you have a hole or if you just want to add further decoration to a certain type of clothing. What's great about these ones is that not only can you just pin it onto the fabric or a bag or whatnot, or any kind of cloth really, they also come with a keychain, which is not usual with these kind of embroidered badges. And another great thing about them is they're not just threaded, they actually have like fur, like real fluffy, fleecy kind of like texture attached to them. It's quite pricey in my opinion, but I know that the locals and people who love Duffy and Friends will not be afraid to shell out this kind of money. I see this as being a really popular item with several people because they do love to collect a lot of Duffy plushes or just Duffy and Friends plushes in general, and not to mention having bags or clothing or dressing up like them. So these are definitely a great idea for the fandom that they're catering towards. This is actually a more recent addition to the merchandise lineup. This was not released in the first previews of the merchandise when it was uploaded on Tokyo Disney's website. These are individual figures and they come through a blind box. So unfortunately, you're not able to choose your Duffy and Friend figurine. It's a mystery. That's what a blind box is. You don't know which one you're going to get. And these are advertised to be like cable accessories. They are essentially decorations holding on to your cable, like your charging cable of your smartphone and whatnot. And that's why they are seated in this kind of position, so that they look like they're hanging on to the cable. Of course, you don't have to use it in that fashion. You can simply use it for decorative purposes, for display. You can just set them on a shelf or on top of your desk, add a little more cuteness to your environment. But this is what they're aimed for. They're meant to be cable accessories. And what's really great about Duffy and Friends merch, or just Tokyo Disney merch in general, is the small touches of details. Like you can see at the back of some of the friends, they have their little cutie marks or their hidden Mickey icons, and they are painted right where they're supposed to be, in the same location as the plushies themselves. So I really like that they did not forget that detail. I just want to briefly go over the set of notepads because this has several unique designs in a set. There are 2 different designs for each character, so you get a total of 12 unique designs. One of the unique designs will feature a particular character, and then you have that group shot. I especially love the group shot because I especially love the group shot of them. It's just like they're huddled all together and they're just having a great time. Shopping bags are great. I have one which I will be sharing with you shortly. This is the second shopping bag of Duffy and Friends or Tokyo Disney merch in general that I have. The first one was of the first time that Cookie Ann got released as part of the Duffy and Friends merch line, and I wanted another one that featured all the friends together, so I thought this is a great reason to get another shopping bag. Alright, I have to back up from the camera and stand up for this so I can fit the shopping bag in the frame because it's pretty big. And I'm gonna pull this out. What you're seeing here first up is the front design of this shopping bag. Oh, let me back up a bit so that you can see it in its entirety. And this is very similar to a lot of the shopping bags that you can get in almost any seasonal event. That's the front side. And here's the back side. You have individual panels of the characters, all 6 of them, one big happy family. Stella Lou, Duffy, and Gelatoni taking up the top frame. And we have Olu Mel, Shelly May, and Cookie taking up the bottom. I love that the side panels also have designs as well, so it's not just like a solid color, it's not just totally blank. And you can see that they are individual symbols or artistic elements related to a particular Duffy and Friend. On the other side as well, it's the same kind of collage of motifs. And this is not always the case, but this particular shopping bag comes with a zipper. And even the flaps of the, the covering over the zipper part of the bag has its own design, and they are like cut cloth fabrics with very simple designs or patterns on it. The same goes for the other flap. And it comes with this sort of plastic panel that goes right at the bottom of the bag so that it straightens out the bottom of the bag. And of course, it comes with fabric straps, making it quite sturdy. Wouldn't have to worry so much about the straps breaking so easily if you have to carry a bunch of your stuff from the parks. I just have to share these hand towels or mini towels. They are square and they feature two friends in each towel. And it's very interesting how they paired up like the girls separate from the boys. And they each have a particular theme going on. Like for example, Duffy and Gelatoni seem to be enjoying some sort of world fair, very similar to that of like Epcot. But there's no Epcot or international sort of thing happening at Tokyo Disney, so I'm not too sure what that's supposed to represent. And then you have Shelly May and Stella Lou doing a jump shot, which is really nice because I've seen a couple of them happening in real time when I go to the parks. And then down there in the corner you have Cookie Ann and Shelly May just like either sharing a secret or just posing very cutely in general. That is definitely one of the ways that Japanese girls like to pose. It makes them look petite and cute. And finally, at the end, we have Olumel and Duffy just like chilling. This is a smartphone ring holder, I believe. I can't see any other function it has, and I'm not too sure why it has a detachable function, as in you can remove it from the back of the placeholder. This is honestly a puzzle for me. I tried to look up more information about it and that's all I have. It's rare to have a plushie border your photo frame, so I thought I wanted to point this one out because you don't see something like this every day. You usually see like metal photo frames or sometimes glass photo frames. Hardly do you ever see plushies being incorporated as part of an actual photo frame. And it's interesting to see that they chose both Duffy and Shelly May, who are like the original members of the Duffy and Friends line, as opposed to the newest member. In all the years that I have been acquainted with Duffy and Friends merchandise, I have never seen anything like this before. This is a wall pocket. It's essentially a huge cloth of fabric, cut fabric, and it's made so that there are dividers across like several layers on the fabric, and these are separated into pockets, so you can use the layers of fabric to store several things. And here is the wall pocket, and I decided to hang it up on this curtain rod because this way I can see it from right across my desk area. I switched to my iPhone to film this because it's just so much easier to maneuver with a smartphone as opposed to a big honking heavy hand camera. And what you're actually seeing is the back side of the wall pocket. That's right, this wall pocket has two different sides, each side having a unique design, and this one has all of the friends in that group photo shot that we saw in so many merchandise earlier. And I love that this is the chosen design to stretch out the entire back of this wall pocket. It's so cute. I mean, it's such a shame this is the back because it's the front side I'll be using, and you will see that very shortly. So I guess if you're not using the front, you can switch between that and the back, and you can use this simply for display purposes. But the front is definitely much more functional and versatile. Let me just zoom in a bit so you can take a look at some of the details over here. We have the little seagull friend. I forget his name. I want to say it's Tippy Blue, something like that. And he is the photographer. And then surrounding the photo, you can see some elements or symbols that are related to a particular Duffy friend. Take, for example, the ice cream here is definitely Gelatoni. That is Stella Lou because she's a ballerina, and those are ballerina shoes. This cupcake has got to be Cookie Ann. Over here, I want to say that's Duffy because it's like about a process of elimination, and that's definitely Shelly May. And right down there at the bottom, you can see some Duffy Bear paw prints or some just Hidden Mickey paw prints in general. We have that symbol here related to Cape Cod, which is their home in Tokyo DisneySea, and then that Duffy and Friends Fun Times Forever. And that is the backside in its entirety. It's so cute. Alright, let's switch over to the front. Dun 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 dun! Here is the front side in all of its lovely adorableness. And I'll just start from the top so you can see what it looks like up close. All the way down to the bottom, you can see all 6 friends, each having their own like individual panel dedicated to them. Each panel is of course a pocket, and then we have a group shot, several pair shots as well, at the very last, at the final tier of this wall pocket. So let's go back up and look at the details. Although it might be hard to see on camera, this is actually embroidered. This is felt on embroidered part of the fabric. So this one is like a separate piece and it's been applied to the wall pocket. Same with Duffy Bear over here. They are adding a sort of 3D-like element to it, and Duffy Bear has some texture to him. This is like fur on him as opposed to just like, you know, a flat design, which I really appreciate. You can see some elements related to the friends again. They're splattered across the background of this panel. And down here, starting from the right, you can see each individual panel representing a particular character. Salaloo over there on the right side, Duffy in the middle, and they each have singular elements that are related to each character. Cookie Ann. There's Shelly May. And finally, the newest addition, Olumel. Oh, okay, so the rainbow is related to Olumel. And the Cape Cod symbol I pointed out earlier is actually Duffy's symbol. So here, once again, we have the group shot. And as we pan to the left, you can see the pair shots of them that we saw earlier in the face towels. There are several ways to use this wall pocket. Of course, you can just stuff, you know, like brushes, cosmetics in here. They are quite versatile. There's not one way to use it. And they're especially been promoting the idea that you can use this to, of course, store your Duffy and Friends plushes. And they're the perfect size for it. I must say, like, the pockets are conveniently sized to store them. And these are these regular sized plush keychains. There are of course smaller versions. This is not the regular plushes, they're keychain versions, so they're just about handheld size. And of course I have the smaller version. And what's great about this particular wall pocket is that there are actually some open slots here. The fabric here has been detached from the wall pocket so that you are able to hang things from this part of the wall pocket, such as your Duffy and Friends plush. And of course it's not limited to plushies. You can also of course put pins on it because it's a fabric and you can poke through the fabric. Oh, before I forget, this part over here is also a wall pocket. It's wider compared to the character panels over here, so you can put things like postcards and maps if you're planning to keep other Disney memorabilia in there. It's definitely sized to fit those kinds of things. This has so many different sizes and so many different ways to hang things off of or put things or store things into that you can honestly just put anything in here. I'll definitely be using this to sort out my Disney memorabilia just so that I can be able to admire them a lot more frequently. So yeah, this is the Duffy and Friends Say Cheese wall pocket. As with most merchandise releases, there is usually a snack to go with the lineup, and we have quite a number being released for this particular lineup. The first one being that of a staple to Tokyo Disney Resort. This is a chocolate crunch, but not chocolate at the same time because this is actually a caramel chocolate crunch. There's just only one flavor, just caramel. All the crunches are caramel flavored, and it comes with this really adorable tin, and I love that the top of the tin, or like the nub where you would grab onto to open up the lid, is the paw of a Duffy bear. I have to admit that is quite adorable. Next up are these candies. You get a lot of them. You get 24 pieces. There are 4 tins or 4 containers, and each container contains 6 pieces, which give you a total of 24 pieces. And with 6 different characters, you get 6 different flavors. I believe each tin contains 2 different flavors. I don't think it's a mix. I could be very wrong. It doesn't say what kind of mix it is. What I can tell you are the various flavors of the candies, and each flavor is associated with the packaging design. So Duffy is always going to be this brown candy, Gelatoni is always going to be the blue candy, and etc, etc. So Duffy is cafe au lait or milk coffee flavored. Gelatoni is cider flavored. It's the Asian version of cider, more accurately Mitsuya cider, which is a very popular club soda kind of thing in Japan, and it is essentially a mix between Sprite and ginger ale, and it's very refreshing in the summer. It is Almost similar to ramune if you've ever tried that before, but not quite. So gelatoni is cider, Shelly May is strawberry milk, Stella Lou, even though she looks very similar to Shelly May's candy, is actually blueberry yogurt, Cookie Ann is cookies and cream, and finally Olu Mel is cream soda flavored. Among these, I personally have never heard of a cookies and cream flavored candy, so that is something that is worth trying, I think. Up next, we have this tin of cookies, and Tokyo Disney cookies are always good. I have never come across a bad batch of cookies. The only reason why I wouldn't like a cookie is just due to personal preference of the flavor. Tokyo Disney cookies, very much like chocolate crunch, are always a win. What we have here is a tin of 18 cookies, and there's less variety here compared to that of the candies we saw earlier. But going back to the yellow packaging, you have 6 butter cookies, and 3 of them are Duffy shaped, and the other 3 are Cookie Ann shaped. So Duffy and Cookie Ann are butter cookies. Then the pink packaging, 6 of them are strawberry flavored cookies, and 3 of them are Shelly May, and the other 3 are Stella Lou. And finally, the blue packaging are green apple cookies, of which there are 6 of them, of course. 3 of them are gelatoni, and the other 3 are Olu Mel. And finally, we come to the last of the snack merchandise, which is rusk. Rusk is actually a French term, a French kind of pastry that is quite popular in Japan. It is essentially a baked, really baked type of bread. It's very much like a cross between toast and a hard biscuit. You put that together and you get a rusk. And there are 12 pieces of rusk in this container. You get 6 plain flavored rusks and 6 milk tea rusks, which is quite exciting. But that's not all with the Duffy and Friends merch, because of course they need to also incorporate it into souvenirs. And souvenirs are items that you can only get by purchasing either a particular type of beverage, a dish, or a meal set at participating restaurants, which of course I will be sharing with you along with the merchandise that I reveal. So not only will you be able to know which locations you can get these souvenirs, I'll also share with you how much you'll have to cough up in addition to the food or the beverage item that you're purchasing in order to get these souvenirs. And what's particularly great about souvenirs is that they're more exclusive in that way compared to the general merchandise. And the main art that is plastered across the souvenirs is the one with the group shot of the friends that are like huddled together, and it's honestly such a nice concept that it's not a problem to see that repeated across several merchandise. First up, what we have here is a souvenir cup, and it usually comes with a dessert, so that's what we have here. We have the cup paired with a dessert, and what this dessert is muscat, which is a kind of grape. It's a lot sweeter and lighter, very different from the heavy purple flavor that many of us are familiar with. So this is muscat flavored mousse with lemon jelly on top. This is the souvenir plate that is paired up with this dessert, and this dessert is a cherry muffin. Quite simple as that. Then we have this souvenir drink bottle or refillable bottle, and you can get this for an additional 1,000 yen. And finally, what we have here is this souvenir lunch case. For an additional 1,200 yen, you can get this. Among the souvenirs, this is easily the most popular, and I have this one to share for a close-up. When you purchase a souvenir lunch bag, you get it all wrapped up in this plastic bag. It's definitely a lot wider than I expected it to be. Usually, lunch bags are about like a third less of this size, so I'm quite happy that it's wider than I expected it, because I do carry a bunch of stuff, not just my lunch. So there is depth to it. This is what it looks like when you kind of puff it out. It has a sort of square-ish shape to it. Oops, let me move that strap out of the way. No, it doesn't want to stay up, so I'll have to hold it for the duration of this filming. And you first have pictures, the same designs that we saw earlier on the face towels, and on the side panel we see just a simple yellow and white striped pattern cloth. And this is the front part of it, and I love that there is a clear pocket here, so you can put things that you want to reach for easily, let's say like your commuter pass or your plushies even. I will use Stella Lou as an example over here. Like so. So you can proudly display your little friend as you walk around the parks. And Here is the zipper. It's a simple brown fabric, and of course you have fabric straps, the same kind of straps that you can find on the shopping bag. So cute. I almost forgot to show you, but on the bottom panel of the bag we have Tokyo DisneySea, Duffy and Friends, the trademark for this kind of merchandise. I hope you enjoyed learning about the latest Duffy and Friends merchandise line with me. If you enjoyed this video and would like to support me, a thumbs up is always appreciated, and I hope you'll consider subscribing as well. Thanks so much for spending time with me. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.